Hello everybody and welcome to this week's episode of Poor Man's Drag Racing. In this episode we're pretty much just going to be focusing on getting the radiator mounted and mounting a water tank for that radiator and getting the coolant lines done, hopefully. So, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to say is that this is not the permanent spot. We actually need to move the radiator up a little bit, and that's why I use these zip ties, just in case the positioning wasn't right. After I found the right cap for it, noticed that we can come up a little bit more with the radiator and still be fine on clearance, which we want the radiator as high up as possible so that way our fan does not hit our wheel. And also, the higher up this is on the radiator, the better, so that way I can easier fit a radiator hose in there. All right, let's get to it. in the last clip you saw that I was welding up the brackets for the radiator. I got one up, and then I was trying to put the second one up. And when I was putting up the second one, a spark, basically not a spark, but like a glob of molten metal, some of the flux, went down my sleeve and burnt my arm. So that's when I stopped recording. After that point, I got up, and after I got myself situated, I went to go look at the first bracket that I put up there, and to see how much clearance we had with the wheel, with the passenger side wheel. And I didn't like how much clearance we had. There was a little bit of clearance, but not enough for me to be comfortable with. So I basically took down the brackets, cut off the 1-inch square steel on the end, and then I re-welded it up with a 1/8 inch thick plate steel, so that way we had a bit more clearance. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so right now the wheel is turned all the way to the left, and I am pushing it up against the hub here. As you can see, we have a decent amount of clearance. Now that 1/8 inch plate right there that used to be 1-inch square steel, I just didn't like how close it was to the tire, so that's why I redid it. And then on the other side here, you can see that we have it on that side too. So that's pretty much what I changed. And now we have the radiator in place. So now the plan is for today to make it stay in one spot. And I left enough room for me to put in some rubber or some silicone, so that way this doesn't get all banged up from the vibrations of the vehicle moving. So let's get into it. Hello everybody, just checking in real quick. The other day I was filming and my phone overheated. Now I do all my recording with my phone, so I had to basically turn it off, and I just kept plugging away. So I'm going to show you what I did in that time. Okay, so what I've done is pretty much put in these rubber grommets here at the top and at the bottom, so that way the radiator has something to vibrate against and it's not just vibrating against the body. Then I also was able to put in some, for lack of a better term, rivet nuts, so that way I can put these bolts through and basically bolt down the radiator supports. Now the thing is, I bolted in this plate, and this plate is going to hold our water tank. Water tank's going to go right about there, so that way I can have the outlets for the radiator and the water tank basically go to a Y and go to our catch can, our water catch can. And then with the water tank, we're actually going to have it, once it's bolted in place, it's going to go, there's going to be a fitting on it that has a radiator hose going from here to it, and 2 coolant lines going from the top of each cylinder head to it as well. So yeah, it's going to go right there, and it's going to get all that. And then our water pump is going to be attached straight to the bottom of the radiator, and it's going to go to the center of the block here. And then that'll be our complete coolant system.
It's a 16 buff in the dark of the It's a 16 buff in the dark. It's a 16
So last we saw, we were mounting the water tank. Now it's been a while since I was able to record, or I guess since it's been a while since I recorded, and let me show you why. Alright, so first thing, last you saw the water tank, it was smooth. Since then I was actually able to get these fittings welded on. Now I didn't do it, a place in Upland, California called Track Tough did it. Thanks to Rob for welding that up for me. It was very nice, and he got it done very quickly. So now, ever since then, I got these fittings on here. We have radiator fitting along with 2 -12 fittings, and as you can see, the -12s are going up to the cylinder heads. There's one on each side. Then also, I'm just going to show you. Also, we have the water pump right down here. We have a coupler to it, which is attaching it to the radiator, and then we have a radiator hose going up and into the center of the block right there. Now, one more thing, we come down here, I've also started getting the fan in place. Now, I don't have any foam up there, which I will be putting on, but right now I just kind of have it up there with some zip ties just so I could kind of visualize it and see, because let's be honest, I'm a little excited and a little impatient, so that's why that's up there right now. So, without further ado, let's get into it. This is probably going to be the last part of this video, and finally we can get it uploaded. So, let's do it. so that's really gonna be it for today. All the hose clamps are tightened on. Now the fan is, I need to get some foam for it so that way it's not vibrating on the radiator. And I also need to get the overflow tank in there. But for today, I feel like that's good enough. So till next time, I'm Joe from Poor Man's Drag Racing. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.